Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Good
Good,
morning.
good morning. Good morning. A beautiful morning here. The early morning energy coming through.
We do. Early morning energy. That was not it. I'm going to work on that for next time.
I have to say, I want to thank you again. You get up so early on your time. It's 7 a.m. for you. I get to ease into my day, 10 a.m. over here in beautiful
You get to have
Miami.
like a workout, probably like wake up properly, get some coffee.
No, 5 a.m. wake up, take my daughter to school by 7:15,
Okay.
my son at 8:15, get to the office, go through the notes, get prepared to talk to you, and then I'm good.
And then you're good. Yeah. No. This is 7 a.m. is not super early. I used to have to start sometimes my shifts at this time, but
Yeah, hotel life. We're used to it. We got some
yeah,
people already joining us, right? I know that Chris
yeah.
and Christopher, they're getting up early to join us, so
Good
we
morning,
love seeing
guys.
you.
Yeah, let us know where you're joining us from. I'm back in the home office. Last week was in Tahoe at this time, doing 25 TV interviews. Let me tell you, if you have ever done 25 TV interviews within a span of 3.5 hours,
Are you saying the same thing over and over and over again?
generally, yeah. I mean, give or take, and then you can't really see who's interviewing you, and you're just going by the voice, and you've got a little earpiece in your ear. You're looking down the barrel of a camera. Sometimes you have to switch to another camera. You have to pay attention to where they're like, okay, look here. And and then keep it fun and interesting and exciting. Like they're asking you the question for the first time.
I like it. See, that's the energy you bring all the time, even to us here.
Does it?
Right?
Well, like, every day is a new day.
Look at Lou saying he gets up at 3:30 a.m. for a workout, and then starts a
Woo,
regular day at about 6 p.m. or
woo.
6 a.m. I'm retired too, so yes, probably crazy. Lou,
Yeah.
if it feels good for you, it's not crazy. And we
Yeah.
got
Oh,
my man
Dallas.
Chris from Dallas, Rob from Austin,
Oh, hey, Rob.
Steven from
6 a.m.
beautiful
Oh,
Chicago.
Steve
It's cold there,
Sinclair.
Steven.
Good morning.
Bay
Oh,
Area. Everyone's coming through.
thanks
I
for
love it.
this is great. I know we got some fellow West Coasters over here up early. Thank you. It's not that
Yeah.
early.
Thanks for hanging out with us. And we got a great
Yes.
show today with a lot of
Oh,
topics we need your
we have
feedback on. And
we
Chris
got
from
oh
San Diego.
Chris, you're up from San Diego. Are you in the water, Chris? Are you like on a surfboard? Because that would be
Ricardo,
way
my
to
man
wake
from
up.
Miami. Good to see you, Ricardo. We bring the
All
Latin
the good
vibes
stuff.
in here.
Oh, great. We got all of that. Wow. You got super excited. I feel like you should be putting on some music to that comment. You're like, we got some
Listen, I
Latin
need my
vibes.
Mr. 305 Pitbull this morning. That's the early
Oh,
morning energy I need right now.
stop. Stop. Oh my God. Oh
Yeah,
my
there we go.
Hey, we are having way too much fun. If you are not having this much fun in your place of employment, you
Find a
gotta
new one.
yeah, find a new one.
'Cause there's places out there that do this all the time. Chris is
By the
out there
way,
hitting on the water.
for the record, this is exactly how I would be when I was working at a hotel. So I was definitely, we would always like try to have fun. I mean, obviously be professional, get your stuff done, be appropriate with the guests for sure. But behind the scenes, just having
Yeah,
fun because,
you're there
we're
all the time.
totally, you're there all the time. You're working crazy hours. Some people are, next thing you know, somebody called out. They're working 14 hours, this, that. If you are not having a little bit of fun and teasing each other, then. Oh, Jeremy. Good
Jeremy in
afternoon.
the house. Good to see
Good
you, man.
afternoon, Jeremy. Good
I missed you
afternoon.
last week.
Yeah, I know. Well, you
He was
missed
on the
you.
he was on the Monday show. I got a little jealous, Jeremy. I saw you
That's
on the
because
Monday
he was
show.
like, I have a feeling Sarah's not going to be live. And he's like, no. So, but we are live. Just
Yes,
in
we were
case.
live today. Kat, good to see you from London. Buzzing after the Global Revenue Forum yesterday. For sure. A lot of action over there.
Oh, that must have been great.
Well,
Very cool. Well, I'm sorry that my caffeine has just kicked in.
Oh, let's bring it. Let's bring the energy. We got some great topics today.
We do have good topics today. Um, are you ready to dive into them?
I think we should.
Yeah. Okay. You're like, I
Yeah,
think we should. I
I
think that's
think
what
we
we're here
should.
for. This is what you came for. Okay. So this is interesting in the world of hotels. Marriott versus hotels. Oh my gosh, Marriott versus Hilton, what their pipelines are looking like. And this was pretty interesting to see as far as as far as how many rooms they have in development. Marriott has more rooms in development.
Mhm.
Um, but Hilton is having a little bit of a different spin on things because they've just recently launched Spark. And that's had a huge that was getting a lot of attention at the recent Alice conference that was happening right here in Los Angeles. By the way, did you know anybody that went to Alice?
I do. I know a couple people that were there, and they were telling me some great things about it. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what comes of it. But the room counts are crazy. Like, yeah, it seems like
yeah,
Marriott's ahead. They are, but they have 573,000 rooms
that's a
in
lot of rooms.
development, and Hilton has 462,000 rooms, and they're
Hmm.
both pushing. If they get those built up, they're going to grow by 30%, which is nuts to me. 36% for Marriott, 39% for Hilton, really growing, and it's all
Yeah.
different kind of things. But they both see luxury being really important, but the
Hmm.
extended stay brands are starting to really make a push. Where you mentioned the one for Hilton and then Studio Res for
Yeah.
Marriott. And the other interesting thing Marriott announced is their
Mhm.
apartments by Marriott
Yes.
Bonvoy. And so that's coming into the world of, luxury apartments staffed by hotels, which look, is that great news for vacation rentals? If you're unique, probably you're okay. But if you're in an urban city, that's going to be tough. But I love seeing it. I love
Yeah, it's
seeing that they're
cool.
doing it because more and more hotels will follow.
And by the way, what's interesting about, the markets that they happen to be launching these apartments in, it is international. So you've got everywhere from Detroit, St. Louis here in the States.
Mhm.
You've got, oh gosh, Italy, even Saudi Arabia in the mix.
Yeah, all
So,
over the world.
yeah, all over the world, which is really interesting.
And they don't see it
So
stopping, like, they're like people are asking
no,
them, like, "Don't you have enough hotels on every major city in every major country?" And they said, "Yes,
wait,
but now
but
there's
wait.
even more for them to grow into."
Totally. Well, let's talk about just even that apartment concept to begin with.
Mhm.
Let If you could live in an apartment where you had, in essence, all the amenities that you would kind of have staying in a hotel, be it housekeeping, this, that, whatever, doorman. I mean, I'd twist my arm, like
Yeah,
I
there's
mean, it's
there's
people
companies
want
that
that.
popped up to fill that need,
Yeah.
and some of them are our friends, so I don't wanna wish them any bad luck, but they have to step up their game if hotels are getting into this world.
Yeah.
'Cause we have our vacation rental company, we have our eyes on this is you gotta step up. Competition's increasing,
Mhm.
and you got the Marriott engine coming into that world. If you haven't seen it, take a look at this. The Marriott Apartments by Bonvoy, and they're gonna be in Detroit and St. Louis to start, but they're beautiful. If it actually looks that way, it's gonna be
Mhm.
very nice.
Yes.
But just think about 573,000 rooms being developed and all the standards and all the things you have to do to make sure your brand still is strong enough, to maintain through all those
I
places.
mean, it's crazy, but I mean, it can be done. And also same for Hilton as well too. I mean, that just shows you the demand.
Yep.
Oh,
And I
okay,
see we've
wait.
got some comments coming through. So Kat
Okay,
is
yeah, go
saying,
first.
"Is the apart hotel concept big in the US? Here in Europe, it's hugely growing sector. It is
It
growing
seems
here. There was a couple of
Mhm.
brands that really hopped into it. But it wasn't major until just recently because everyone started working remotely. And so now you can kind of be anywhere at any time and people are looking for those
Mhm.
things. And as you travel with friends and families, if you can get a similar rate in an apartment, you may book that over a suite at a hotel,
Yeah,
right?
fascinating.
And Christopher gave us a comment here saying, as long as Marriott and Hilton keep popping out these boring gray boxes with unimaginative marketing like they've been at Taco Bell for a week, I think there's still a lot of space in the industry for those who truly care about providing guest experience.
Uh,
Christopher, tell us how you really feel. I
well,
agree that some of these are a little boring concepts with
whoa,
their
whoa,
entry level to get
whoa.
people into their other brands, but I've been in a couple where you're like, you wouldn't know what the brand is. You're just there and they all kind of look similar.
This is true, but there are also a lot that are unique, and that is why I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I'm playing devil's advocate, that I do actually feel that a lot of these bigger brands are leaning more into their, um, boutique style brands under their bigger umbrella.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
there's some entry level ones that you're like,
Oh,
it's a little rough in here. Maybe it just needs to be upgraded, updated because they're a little older. I have stayed in some new places that are really cool. I was like, all right, this is nice. I may not stay again, but it was a nice stay. And I can see why they've made this
yeah.
and who might stay there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I just stayed at a Moxie in New York City, and I chose it because I was like, "Oh, I've stayed in Moxies before. I know the brand. I know what I'm getting." I was not expecting a large room. I was not expecting a lot of frills, but like a fun vibe, and that's exactly
Mhm.
what I got at a very reasonable price. So,
Yeah, the Moxie here in Miami Beach, very colorful. Not my style, but I know a lot of people enjoy it and they go there and hang
a
out.
style.
Everyone's got a style. So there's different flavors for everybody. Just like
The
Baskin Robbins got a ton of flavors. You got a lot of brands, but I agree that
Wow.
some are not my favorite flavor and probably won't ever try them.
Oh, ooh. That might have to be for
Quote
another
it.
day.
Let's clip that one.
Flip that one. All right. Switching gears a bit here. Let's talk about hotel prices and how now $1,000 a night rooms are kind of the new normal. It's not uncommon to find rooms that are 1,000, like starting rooms at $1,000 a night. I mean, I remember when that was like you were getting a pretty mega suite once you started breaking the $1,000 mark,
Mhm.
and now to see some of these hotels that are, I mean, and they're in bigger cities. I mean, you've got like Raffles in London, obviously Atlantis, the Royal in Dubai, Bulgari in Rome. I mean, but even Amman in New York,
Yeah.
Carlisle, all of these,
Hotels
and
across Miami Beach are like this. It's
totally.
amazing to see this because like you're right. When
Mhm.
you're working at Peninsula, I was a Mandarin Oriental, 5 star, 5 diamond. You start
Mhm.
looking at it and you're like, all right, $1,000. This is an ultra VIP. We're gonna make sure
Oh,
we take great care of them. Everyone's a
oh,
VIP, by the way. But you would have a mark. You'd be like, all right,
everyone's a VIP.
behind the scenes that line
Some
up.
are more VIP than
Yeah.
others.
Yes. Behind the scenes that line up. Oh, Mrs. Dandashy coming, $1,000 nights. Let's make sure she's taken care of. But now that rate is there a lot. And we're seeing it because of inflation in a lot of areas. Labor
Yeah.
costs is more, food costs is more, supply costs is more, and hotels have to cover that. And so, of course, the rate's going up. Just like I don't know if you're big into fashion, Sarah. We haven't got into this, but if a Chanel bag is going up in price,
Um,
people still buy that Chanel bag. So if they're going to
yes.
stay at the St. Regis, they're still going to pay up and have that, right? But
Yeah.
how do you see the service going with those? Is service going to maintain?
Well, and that's the whole thing. I mean, we've talked about this many times before, is that people are paying more. And then interesting, CoStar actually came out with data saying that despite these higher room rates, occupancy has actually increased. So reaching, what is it, 67.3% in 2023, which is up 64.5% in 2022. So, by
Keeps
the way, these
going.
are still lower than 2019, but like we're up. People are just, they're paying money. They're paying this money, and we just have to be honest with ourselves and do a sort of audit. Are we providing are we providing the value for that price? People are paying for it, but like we want them to be happy and we want them to come back. And
Mhm.
so I think that that's a really tricky time. We were not doing that before. People are kind of getting a little bit better as they've hired as staffing is like sort of evening out, but you are
Yep.
still a product at the end of the day.
And what I'm seeing a lot with hotels, and if you're listening and this is happening at your hotel, the focus is not on just guest service scores, but
Mm,
also the guest value score, like how
mhm.
they feel as a value to this property. Am I getting a value for what I'm paying for? So if I am paying $1,000 a night to stay here, am I getting great food? Is it great attention? Is it a great experience that I'm going to take a photo with my family and keep that on the mantle of a great vacation I had?
Yeah.
So those are the things that I'm seeing a lot in my area that people are focusing on is really that value
Mhm.
score because prices are going up. I don't see them coming back down because once they're up, it's tough to go unless more inventory comes. And Marriott and Hilton are building them, but I don't know if they're going to be able to keep breaking in to that range of price.
Well, I mean, again, I love that you talk about this value aspect because it's like people will spend the money, but they want to feel good spending the money. They don't want to feel like, well, that was not worth it. So be worth it.
Ooh, another clip.
Mic drop right there. There you
Quote
go.
it.
Mic drop. That's my early morning energy talking right there.
Yeah, but talking about big room rates, what's coming
Whoa,
up? There's a big event coming up.
a huge event, the Super Bowl. Are you a Super Bowl guy?
I like watching the Super Bowl. I like seeing a good game.
I like
Right?
watching the Super Bowl. Wow, that was
Of
very
course.
committed.
If it's not my teams, if it was Miami Dolphins, I'd be pumped up and
And then you'd
excited
be
to
like
go.
all over it. Yeah. So Super Bowl coming up in a couple weeks here. It's going to be in Las Vegas. It's driving what should be the most expensive hotel rates in game history, obviously in the market that they're going to be at. So in Las Vegas, hotel rooms are forecasted to be about $573 dollars a night between February 9th and February 11th. Miami previously had set the record. So woo, go Miami in 2020 at $559 a night. So
and I was
that's
working in
crazy.
I was working in one of the headquarter hotels, and it was not 559. It was above 1,000.
Well, I mean, we're talking about average.
I know. I was excited. I was at that event. It was a great time.
Yeah.
I loved having it, but I'm excited for Las Vegas to see what they do with it because they are a city of big events. They just had F1 there, and I had friends that went and said it was incredible.
I feel like half of the United States went.
Yeah, everyone seemed to have been there.
Yeah.
And now we talked about it a couple episodes ago. The new Fontainebleau Hotel is open there, right? And so they've added some new life to that area of the Strip. So I'm excited to see
good
what
morning,
happens.
Kate. By the way, Kate chiming in here from Santa Monica saying that the Vegas Super Bowl will be wild. I got to do a shout out to her. I just met up with her last night. She's got a new book. Oh, I don't have it right next to me. It's in my thing downstairs. Inhospitable. We'll talk about it another time, but definitely we'll have to check it out.
Yeah, Kate. I need a copy, Kate. I'm gonna get one. I'll get one online.
Yeah.
Inhospitable plug. Thanks for watching.
Woo!
So
thank you.
Super Bowl. If you're watching, let us know here with a thumbs up. If you're gonna be there, tell us. We'd love to see what you think of it. I'd love to get your feedback on what that city is like during their first ever Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So there was some pushback with F1 from the locals, obviously. I mean, you are creating a racetrack in the middle of the city, of the Strip.
Yep.
So it was definitely inconvenient for a lot of locals. And so, they are in the, oh, there you go. You got it, Steve. So what they're, now, I mean, they're still in the process of taking things down from F1. But I'm sure locals are a little bit like, okay, what is this going to look like? But at the same time, you also live in Las Vegas. So people are going to come. The city's going to host events. It's going to be a temporary barrage of individuals. Hopefully everybody makes that money.
Yep.
And then it simmers down, right?
And most people in that city live off of the hospitality industry. So you want events. You want these mega events in your city. And I know because we deal with it in Miami Beach here too. Similar thing. That balance, you don't want it to be an all-out craziness on the streets, but you got to have these big events to keep a world-class city and keep our industries going.
Yeah, I mean it's and I mean even in Los Angeles, we're going to have the Olympics. It's part of it, but
yeah, we got World Cup coming too. So I see Lola said yes, it was crazy. I was there for a travel function. Well, Lola, I'm happy to see that you had a good time. Then hopefully you were enjoying the festivities too.
Make those memories.
That's right.
Make those memories. Anyway, all of that exciting stuff. Let's talk about travel, the travel industry and some trends. So it was interesting. I was going through this article that you actually had shared with me. Oh, good morning, Lonnie. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Lonnie? Good to see you.
We got a lot of South Florida in the house.
Yeah,
people in other areas. We need to step it up. Come on.
They're working too hard on the other cities. We got to keep Miami and South Florida going.
Exactly.
But travel topic, yeah. This article is cool.
Very cool. And I love that you shared it with me. It's something that I use. And I realized I don't think that we had talked too much about them on this particular show. We kind of touched on some others. I talked about it a lot in my TV segments, but I like these trends. So there's so many of them. I don't know that we'll be able to talk about all of them, but astrotourism A big one that not only, I mean, we're going to be having some eclipses this year that people are going to be traveling for, but then we're also seeing different hotel brands, even depending on where they're located, get igloos, for example, where people are able to stay in an igloo, or like a clear glass igloo, I should say, where they
Yeah.
can watch the stars at night. So it's so cool that we've got these options, that people are really tapping into that,
Yeah.
because it's a different
Yeah, we got
way to.
astrotourism is one that you talked about, which I don't know if I'm
Mhm.
going to be chasing any of the stars for a trip, but you know,
Okay.
diving, eco diving. So a
Eco
rise in
diving.
divers. People are exploring the oceans and the seas, which
Yep.
I live in Miami. I've only snorkeled. I got to get into scuba diving here. I've always been a little bit
Mhm.
nervous about getting that deep with my
Home
oxygen.
swapping. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Home
No, yeah.
swapping,
Yeah, home
train
swapping.
stations. This is a big one that I like. I want to see more of this. Is the train stations being elevated? So they're
Yeah.
saying train stations are the new food destinations with food halls and different offerings. The one here in Miami, Brightline, created a food hall. I think they're waiting on a
Cool.
little bit more volume to come through to open the doors on it because they opened
Mhm.
and then closed it, but it looked awesome. Sports tourism we just talked about, right?
Olympics,
So
Tour de France, Formula One, all of the
big
above.
things. World
I
Cup is
gotta talk
coming
about this
now.
one. This
Tell me
one,
the next one.
coolcationing, and why I have to talk. I talked about coolcationing significantly last week, and that's basically people are opting to travel to cooler destinations, whether it's really leaning into winter or even in the summertime, opting not to necessarily do beach destinations, but hey, I'm going to go to cooler destinations. Be that Iceland, people are also opting. Antarctica obviously comes with the territory, so it is cool to see. Cool
I
to
just
see.
did that. Look, my family, we didn't want to
What
be
did you?
freezing during New Year's.
This is
We
true.
wanted to have a different season and we wanted to be cold and experience that coming from Miami. We went to DC and it was a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
wouldn't have gone there if it was a warm place.
this is
So
true.
maybe
So
I'm
cool.
part of that coolcationing.
Yeah, I think you were part. You were leading that trend. Trendsetter
Yeah.
over here.
Oh,
Oh gosh, gig tripping. So basically, a lot of people that are traveling for destination concerts, music festivals. We've seen this in the past, but people obviously really Taylor Swift leading the charge with that. Everybody traveling for a little tay-tay, as they like to say.
we say Lou's going on a trip here. They're doing Viking,
Yeah.
Iceland, Greenland, and
Oh,
Canada
very
cruise.
cool.
That's a coolcation.
Uh,
And how
those
about
are
the
really.
biohack? Are you ever biohacking? Because I see the resorts that will help you biohack your health span. So getting
Oh,
IVs and treatments
I'm
and things like that.
super into health stuff. So I don't always talk about it, but I'm into all of that. Like I will do cold plunges. I will do try different vitamins. I've definitely had vitamin B12 shots. I'm also a vegetarian, so I've played with all of that.
I
So
was going when
yeah,
I worked at the Los Miami Beach Hotel. Across the street was a place to get your IV drip. So I would get a little worn down. I just pop over across the street, plug in, head
yep.
back over.
Plug in to keep on going. I like this. People are also really double downing on shoulder season. They should have been all along, but people are really becoming just now, as people don't necessarily have their maybe regular 9 to 5s, and they might have a little bit more flexibility without having to go into the office. They can be more flexible with their travel time. So they are exploring shoulder season as well, which I'm all for that. All
Yeah.
for that.
I think those are great ways to do it. And we've got people letting us know where they're going. Lonnie said the Ice Hotel in Quebec is a unique
Oh,
experience.
yes.
Giraffe Mania in Kenya. I want to go there.
Yes.
Hang out with
Lonnie,
some
love
giraffes.
both of those. I have not been to either, and they are on my list. I mean, although giraffes kind of like I don't know if I need to have a giraffe eat my hand, but it's weird. Yeah, dude, it's weird. Oh my God, they're crazy.
But
But
the
also
other
fun.
two thing too that was on this list was AI aims to be your sidekick. And
Yeah,
I
you
would
gotta talk about
challenge you all because I
that.
used it
Mhm.
on my last trip and I just tested it out yesterday. Wherever
Yeah.
you're standing on your vacation, tell ChatGPT on the voice part now. Say, hey, I'm standing on Fifth and Ocean in Miami Beach. Tell me what's around me and what I'm looking at. And it will tell you all the different things around you, the history or the art or whatever you might be. It's just fun, different ways to use this and to plan your
Is
trip. So I made an
is it
entire
accurate?
itinerary. It's
Is it
accurate.
accurate?
I'm born
Okay,
and
good.
raised,
Good,
looked
good.
at what it was telling me, and
Good.
said, wow, this is very cool.
Very cool.
But
So
I
I like
challenge
this
you to
other.
use it.
I love it. Okay, this next trend I also talked about 25 times last week. Skip Gen Travel. So it's basically a skip generation travel where you've got grandparents and grandkids planning vacations and doing that, which I love because what a wonderful way to create those memories and do something different than maybe like the typical things. So I
And the parents
really
don't
am a
go?
big fan. No, the parents don't necessarily go. Yeah. Like give the
Mm.
parents a little, yeah. You're like, ooh, you're like, maybe we can have our
All right,
kids go. I'm
grandparents.
like,
Making some calls
hello,
here.
tapping in so we can check out for a minute. Oh my gosh. Wow. So many other
There's
things.
so
I
many
mean,
others. We'll put the link
yeah,
for this article because there's so many other
yeah,
like urban
it's actually
gardens and
so
wild feasting and plan-free travel and frontier travel. There's just so many cool things this
back of
article talked
house
about.
tours, which is I'm here for that. So
I
all of
like
that good
those.
stuff. Yes. Okay. We have a couple more topics here, but we want to be mindful of the time. Venice. They have officially launched their entry fee tickets. They have a portal. You can, when you know that you are going to be traveling to Venice, Italy, by the way.
You said
Um,
California?
no, they're having
Whoever wants to
too
commit.
many too many hippies over there for them to be charging an entrance fee.
All right.
Um,
No hate from the
so
hippies. Don't send us any emails here, okay,
no,
hippies?
wait, what are you talking about? Look, I'm a hippie. Look, yeah, no. Anyway, we need to know. But it's fascinating. So basically, Venice is going to be charging a destination fee, and it's basically about €5 a day, so $5.45 US dollars, according to today's um exchange rate. And they're basically charging them for day visits between 8:30 a.m. and 4 p.m.
And are people
Interesting.
freaking out? I know that people at the beginning, when they first announced this, people were freaking out about it. But I think $5 to go visit one of the most historic cities and unique cities that's actually sinking, maybe that can help
Mhm.
it fight climate change somehow or the flooding that's there. But I really want to go. I have not
Yeah.
been, and I'm happy to pay
So,
$5.45.
and to be clear, this is a pilot program. So they've been talking about this for years. They're finally doing it. And it's not every day, but it's certain days during high season, basically between April 25th and July 14th. So you basically have to like register, and mainly they're trying to target it for day trippers. But if you are staying overnight, you still have to register, and they will be checking people. They will have penalties for people that don't pay. I find it fascinating. To me, I'm curious to see how they'll actually implement it. But you know what I mean? Like, how are they checking people?
I don't know. I guess there's only certain boats to get over there. So if you're getting off the docks,
Yeah.
you got to show something or scan something. I just want to
Right?
go meet the lady that I seen on TikTok who's chasing all the pickpockets.
Oh my
You seen
gosh.
her?
No. Who's this woman?
What? All right.
No.
If you're watching this live, and maybe you're watching on TikTok or Instagram, the lady who chases the pickpockets out there, let me know you've seen it. I'm gonna send it to Sarah because
Oh my
I'm
God. You have
got
to.
into a black hole of just watching her chase pickpockets
This
and
is,
yell their names. The
oh my.
pickpocket, be careful.
Oh, oh my. I love that. Wait, hold on. Lola asked a good question. Is Europe still doing visas for American citizens? Yes, but they've pushed it off to start next year in 2025. Also not expensive. Here's the thing. None of these are expensive. It's not breaking the bank. But I don't
It
know
adds
about
up.
you. I'm going somewhere. I want to pay like when I need to pay. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, on April 28th, like I don't know what I'm doing this weekend, yet alone
That's true.
some
That's true.
facts. So I
And
don't know.
Christopher just said he's seen the pickpocket lady, and it's
Oh my
great.
God.
So I'm not the only one. We got to
Everybody's seen
get you
this
on there.
pickpocket lady. Goodness
Uh,
gracious.
and just a previous comment because we talked about this.
Yeah.
It says I'll be in Vegas next week for business, but outside of group rates you may get, rates are now $900 for a king room. Super Bowl helped this rate go up also. So
Ooh.
900. I hope you're staying in
Yeah.
a good hotel.
Ooh. That's crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Real time
A lot,
recap.
a lot of stuff today.
We covered a whole lot of things today, but I'm here for it, obviously. Me and my caffeine. Real time recap. Anything amazing happened to you this week?
Amazing. Say amazing,
Or
but I
not?
found a new little cafe and coffee shop in my
Love.
neighborhood called
Cool.
Pinocchio on the Bay, and it's mom and
Cute.
pop owned. And they just treat people really nicely in there. And it's a nice change up from like the regular old Starbucks or corporate
Mhm.
coffee place. And they treat people really nice. It has a warmth in there. And I really feel like that could be something, that vibe. I want to try and figure out how to package that vibe and put it places.
Yeah. I love that. That's so cool. That Hey, I'm a huge fan of going to neighborhood coffee shops, and it just
Yeah, it feels very European. Like I want more of that vibe somewhere, like the European coffee
yeah,
shop, like coffee and pastries in the day, transferring more into like wine and cheeses and light bites in the evening. Nice
it's so fun.
setting,
We
candlelit, kind of glowing. Feels nice in there.
we definitely need more of that. It's interesting you say that because I was just in New York and, there was one little section of Broadway that, just had like a slew of little like cafes and different places. That reminded me of like, oh, this is little Europe. It was very cute
Yeah.
to see. I had great service when I was, staying in New York City. Definitely have to give them a shout out. Oh, other really cool thing was again last week I was at the Margaritaville in Tahoe,
Yeah, can you
and
how was that? I know we're gonna go over on time here, but how did you like
oh,
it?
we're going over on time, but we're going to talk about it. It was great. They did a really good job. So the particular location, they took over, I think it was previously the South Lake Tahoe Resort,
Mhm.
and originally it was an Embassy Suite. So that's how it was built, and they've completely redone it. And what I like is that they were sort of able to keep that sort of, as they like to say, the island attitude, mountain latitude. So they could keep that sort of like island spirit, but there's also something that is very almost resorty, or not resort, like mountain
I like
resort
resorty.
about it. Yes, resorty.
Resorty.
Lodge, I should almost say lodge is actually the word I was looking for. So it's this interesting combination where like you can have a margarita, be by a fireplace. It's right there on the California Nevada border. Literally the driveway, you're in California and you walk on the other side and you're in Nevada. So if you are into gambling, and it's there in Heavenly Village, cute little village area, but just well done. So shout out to them for going outside of the box and creating a really fun and people were gathering like in the lobby area. It was a perfect example of this skip gen travel. You've got multi-generational travel happening. You've got little groups of, families or friends. There were people that were playing heads up in the lobby.
Yep.
It was
I
just
love
this
that.
cool vibe. So seriously, shout out to them. Also, they have amazing beds. I don't think we talk about this enough, or people associate amazing beds with Margaritaville hotels and resorts, but they have phenomenal beds. So, yeah, that was great. Really, really good.
I like it. So not cheesy. I was worried it was gonna be cheesy,
No,
island vibe in the mountains, but they nailed it. So I'm excited
no,
for
they
them.
do a really good job. Yeah, I mean, I get it that from the maybe originally you might look at it and be like, "What's this going to look like?" But whenever you go in, you're like, "Oh, I get
Cool.
it. I
Yeah.
get it." So check one out the next time you're able to see one. And if you're able to go to Tahoe, definitely worth it. Um, ooh, okay. Let's get to our hospitality quote. You ready for it?
I'm ready. The
Oh,
best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi.
namaste. No, not the
Well,
right moment.
I think it is. Yes. You know, because it is. You're finding yourself, and I love this quote because it's true. The more you help others, the more you learn about yourself. And
It,
I enjoy doing that more than other. It becomes like an addiction to help people, and I love doing
it
that.
it does, and I think that's what's so beautiful about the hospitality industry. You gain so much, and if anybody, and on a serious note, if ever anybody's going through a tough time, I mean, life is life, and we go through ups and downs. What I've always tried to do when I'm having a rough patch in life, I try to kind of pause and see, okay, well, what can I do and give back to others? Sometimes, you're not quite there yet, but when you can, it's amazing how it makes you just feel so much better. So we are so lucky that we work in and in the industry where we're able to give to others. It's a very special thing. So remind yourself that we are we get to give, and that's awesome.
It's true. It's a fantastic industry to do that. A lot of people
Yes.
never have the chance to do that in their companies and their business.
I also feel like it just changes you as a person. I was talking with somebody the other day that was, they hadn't ever really worked in the hospitality industry. And you can tell they're like, oh, they're very like this, that, whatever. They almost lack a little bit of this warmth or this like givingness. They're this ease to them. And whenever I'm around other individuals that have worked in hospitality, they have more of that. And so, I don't know. I think it adds to us as human beings.
I think everyone should work at least a 1 quarter in an industry where they're serving others, because you can really tell the people that
100.
have done it and have not. My kids
Totally.
will. I did. My wife did. Like, we can all tell the people that have.
Totally.
Well,
So
anyhow, we covered a lot today.
we did. That's our show. That's crazy.
That's our show, our longest show, 35 minutes.
Well, look at you counting.
I'm just looking at our timer go. I know our producers are saying wrap it up, but I like hanging out with you and hanging out with you all over here.
Always fun. And then next week, you're definitely going to want to tune in because I'll be joining live from Maui.
What?
Ooh.
All right.
It's
I got to
okay.
go find a place to go live from.
Yeah,
now.
you do. Yeah, you do. It's fine. I'll send you a pineapple. It'll be okay. Pineapple coconut cookies. So great show today.
Enjoy your trip. Safe travels. And as always, we'll see you next week, everybody.
Woohoo! Bye.